Hello and welcome to Kensington, one of the posher and swankier corners of London. Now when it comes to cars, folk around here not super easily impressed. Ferraris, Lambos and Porsches, they're common as muck around this way. But I think that the vehicle we're here to test today is so unusual, so unique, that even the good people of Kensington are going to have their cosmetically enhanced jaws on the floor. So what do you reckon? Pininfarina Battista? Lotus Evija? Even better. And here it is! This spectacular contraption is the Carver. And this is fully charged.
Yes, it's the Great EV giveaway. Don't forget to subscribe and enter for your chance to win all sorts of prizes, including one of 4 electric cars.
Now, first thing you need to know is that this is not a new idea, it's not a new company. If you go on YouTube, you can find a clip of a very young looking Richard Hammond testing one of these on Top Gear back in 2003. Of course, back then it was not electric, it had a little motorbike engine. The idea has come a long way since then. And of course, the unique selling point of the Carver is, wait for it, that. They call it DVC, Dynamic Vehicle Control, and it's a patented technology. And it is very clever. It's not just a case of how much it leans depends on how much I steer, it also depends on my speed. And it serves 2 purposes. Number 1, it keeps things nice and stable. Don't forget the track on the rear of this is 98 centimeters. It's a very narrow vehicle. And if it didn't have the ability to lean through corners, it would just topple over the second oh, look at that turning circle. It would just topple over the second I yanked the wheel to the side because it's very high centre of gravity, especially with big old me at the wheel. And of course, the second purpose of that leaning capability, it is so much fun. Ooh, roundabout, here we go. Oh yes, look at that, look at that. Up to 40 degrees of lean, that is halfway to the ground. I've never experienced anything like it. Let's talk a little bit about the design of the Carver. As you can see, the whole thing is built onto this sort of steel frame which doubles as a roll cage, makes you a lot safer than you would be on, say, a motorbike. If the worst should happen, this is quite interesting. We've got this box down here. If you don't know if you can quite see that. This houses the batteries and all the essential components. And what's cool is that doesn't lean, that stays put, along with the sort of rear axle. The rest of the car leans to side, and that stays perfectly intact. Why add extra weight to the leany bit when you don't have to? Clever design. It's very orange, isn't it? You don't have to have it in orange. I think you do have to have it with a rear spoiler. I mean, you need the rear spoiler because otherwise it would take off with such forceful acceleration. It wouldn't. It's 30-mile-per-hour vehicle. This is completely pointless. But you know what? It's a bit of fun. The whole thing is a bit of fun. It should be orange. It should have a rear wing. Why not? So what's it like to drive? Well, according to Carver, it offers the comfort and safety of a car with the simplicity and maneuverability of a scooter. That's the idea here. Comfort and safety of a car? Yeah, sure. A very small car with 3 wheels, but I'm enclosed, not going to get rained on. It feels perfectly car-y in all the ways that matter, but I'm less than a metre wide, which means I can squeeze through gaps that cars would never fit through. And look at this! I should probably not be doing that, zigzagging on residential streets, but I can because it's so small. Oh, I can't even stress to you how rewarding it is to feel so narrow and compact on the road. Because all of a sudden I've got all this road to play with and I can take the racing line through corners. You could have more fun in one of these in a city than you ever could in a Audi RS e-tron or a Jaguar I-Pace. This just makes sense in an urban environment. Do you know what? I know someone who lives around here that would absolutely go crazy for this thing. Let's see if we can find him.
I know, it's lovely. Scarlett Johansson on Fully Charged, wonderful. I mean, of course, it's fantastic that she's a fan of the show. Please don't take offence, but we really don't do it. We don't do celebrity stuff, and we've got a Scarlett. We've got our own Scarlett.
Ah, Bobby Lou as I live and breathe.
That is amazing.
Oh, fancy seeing you around here.
That's amazing.
Good morning.
Morning. This is fantastic.
Welcome to the Carver.
The Carver. I've never seen one in real. I mean, I knew about them. I've never seen one in real life. So can I have a go in it?
Yeah, come on, I'll get in the back.
Oh my God, you can't.
Well, I'm going to have to do a yoga pose to get in, but we'll make it work.
And we can get in either side.
I've been stretching in preparation. There we go, look at this.
I cannot believe you got in there. That is ridiculous.
Look at that, acres of space.
Look, it's so easy for me to get in.
Positively
No.
luxurious. That's
Oh,
a
that
proper
is-
two-seater.
Are you sure you got enough room?
Absolutely, let me just
my
put my
God.
seatbelt on.
Oh my God, seatbelts on. I mean, this is all mod cons.
Yeah, it's very nice. I will say that it's definitely a roof down job with me in the back.
It's definitely. Got to be careful reversing. There's not a lot of direct rear view.
Very true, very true. Fortunately, the back is sort of, well, I'm it.
Yes.
So I can tell you if we hit anything.
Oh my Lord.
Yes. We're carving.
What
It's a
weird,
surreal
I've never had
experience.
that sensation before. That lean is. I mean, because if you're just going absolutely straight, you're in a narrow little car
Yeah.
that feels completely normal. As soon as you move the wheel,
Oh. It's like being on water, isn't
yeah,
it?
it feels more like we're on water, like one of those things that that are like a motorbike that goes on water. I can't remember what they're
Jet
called.
ski.
Jet ski.
Very jet ski
It's
esque.
just like a jet ski. Just pull out of the way of this bus. Oh,
That's so satisfying.
I'm getting into it now. Yeah, it doesn't. It takes 500 meters, and you'll be carving like a legend. And this is what they're saying around a 60-mile range,
60-mile range.
which is in a town. It's all day basically, isn't it? Driving around all day.
And better still, the battery is 5-point-something kilowatt hours. They reckon you can get a full charge for about £1 at home.
Oh yeah, easily, if not less. I mean, I would say less. You could do it for less, I'm sure.
There's not many cheaper ways to get around town, is
Look,
there?
if you're paying 5p a kilowatt hour at night, that's 25p
Yeah.
for a full charge.
Yeah.
That is not a lot of money.
What a bargain. Oh, thank you. See?
What did she say? Nice car.
Nice car.
Oh,
We are the talk of Kensington.
That's fantastic. I love the Carver. Oh, it is quite cosy.
It's a bit snug. If I was an 8-year-old child, this would be perfectly fine.
Yes. Yeah, no, then it would be cool if your mum or dad picked you up in the Carver after school. I don't think it would be embarrassing. I think you'd be the cool.
Imagine how much the kids would love this as well.
Yeah. Oh God, they love it. Yeah, that is brilliant.
Delightful.
That is such fun.
Let's discuss the options available on the Carver because, oh yes, there are different versions of it. The base Carver starts at just under €10,000. That is several thousand cheaper than a Renault Twizy. It's about half as much as a Smart 4.2, which in my mind are pretty much the only rivals that this thing has. They've all got about the same range of 60 miles, by the way. Then you've got the Carver Comfort. Then you get some really plush stuff like floor mats and a phone holder and a Bluetooth sound system. You've then got the Carver Sport. It has a sport button for punchier acceleration and black wheels. And then perhaps the most impressive one of all, the Carver Cargo. Oh yes, there's a van of this. And get this, 500 litres of cargo space, up to 500 kilos of cargo it can manage. Hugely impressive. Now it may strike you as a bit odd that we're testing this in posh West London because with its carvy ability, you'd really want this thing on some nice twisty V roads. But actually, this is the Carver's home. It is a city vehicle. Range is limited to 60 miles, which is actually pretty decent considering the 5-point-something kilowatt hour battery. And top speed is only 30 miles per hour. This is a city car. It would be huge fun slicing up country B roads in this thing, but it just doesn't have the battery range for that, and it's not really what it's intended for. It is intended to make urban driving enjoyable. It's designed to make people smile, and not just the people driving it, just about everyone I've driven past as well. Right, I've been sent on a mission. It's lunchtime, the crew are hungry. I'm going to fetch lunch, and in doing so, demonstrate the outstanding city errand running capabilities of the Carver. Look at this chump in his smart car. Hey buddy, why don't you just get a Hummer? Oh, here's a spot. Parallel parking? Not in the Carver, my friend. Just turn into the space. Oh yes. Sandwich. Piece of cake. Sandwich delivery en route. Oh. Thing is really big and scary from down here. Tell you what, visibility is fantastic in here. I mean, I do have mirrors, but I don't need them because if I just turn my head, there's the entire outside world. Let me give you a quick tour of the inside of the Carver, because well, it's actually quite finished in here. It's a lot like a small car. We have a steering wheel, not handlebars. Very strange sensation leaning into corners while working a steering wheel. Never had that before in my life. Here we've got DNR, that's our gear selector buttons. We've got a little hazard switch here. We've got our indicators and our headlights. We've got our windscreen wipers. Oh yes, fancy stuff in here. A little bit of storage area, Bluetooth sound system because this is the Carver Comfort. We also have a couple of heaters. We've got a demister for the windscreen, little storage areas. Yeah, quite nicely finished. Wondering how to charge it? Very simple, my friend. And you may be thinking, well, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Domestic socket, how do I bring it into my hallway? Well, don't worry about that, because with this fancy dongle here, street charging also an option. Concluding thoughts then. You know, I came here today for a bit of a laugh, and I certainly got one, but I'm also going to be leaving a convert. This is a fantastic way to get around a city. If there's a better way to get two people across town, I don't know what it is. It's infinitely more fun than a Twizy. It's about as comfortable, about as refined, but it leans. That doesn't get old. That does not get old. Now the use case is quite specific. I think it's the ultimate school run mobile, provided you have one child. You stand on a street corner in London and count how many people are in each car as it goes past. So rarely do you see more than two people in a big, massive Range Rover SUV. And they don't fit down the streets, and they inhale petrol, and they just make no sense. This is better. And starting at €9,000, you certainly wouldn't describe it as cheap, but you compare that to an electric smart car, it's a steal. And I love how interactive the steering is. I feel like I'm back in the Everati electric Porsche, because the steering's completely unassisted, so whatever happens to that front wheel goes straight through my hands. It's just so much fun. Well, what a lovely day. What a fantastic little vehicle. I have seen the future today, and it's orange and from the 2000s. I'm not suggesting that a few years from now we're all going to be carving all over the place, but just allow yourself to imagine a city where most vehicles were this size. Imagine how much better that would be as a pedestrian, as a cyclist, and as a driver. It's just far more enjoyable. Oh, and by the way, 60 miles for £1. Makes an awful lot of sense, doesn't it? There we have it, the Carver, a fantastic little device. Please do make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have been, thank you for watching.
Want to see the Carver in the metal and meet the whole Fully Charged team in person? Then come and join us this weekend at Fully Charged Live. You can get your tickets by following the link in the description down below.